Okay, converting a percent to a fraction. We have an easy, medium, and hard because there are some levels here. Percent means out of 100, right? It's from the word, it comes from French, percent. You can see it right in there. Per, P-E-R, means out of. Cent, 100, out of 100. So when someone says, I ate 19% of a pie, or my salary went up 19%. You translate percent out of 100. That means it becomes so easy to write as a fraction because you're writing it as 19 out of 100. 19 out of 100, 19 over 100. And what makes this problem easy is that there's no reducing of the fraction. Now, you know how upset I get if fractions are not reduced. Right? It makes me think of like the Yankees are winning and beating the Red Sox. I hate it. I don't like seeing non-reduced fractions. That's why we have a medium problem. Because if you turn in your answer as 75% and you talk and you tell me it's 75 over 100, I will scream. I will scream, and you will get no ice cream. I will scream if you write 75 over 100 because it's not reduced. Right? And don't do what one of my students did and made it smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and then said, Mr. Bergen, now I've reduced the fraction. That's ridiculous. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about making it smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, right, reducing and simplifying the fraction so you're submitting an answer of 3/4. That's the only acceptable answer if I ask you to turn 75% into a fraction. And what makes a problem hard is that it's harder to turn into a fraction. So let's take the example of 26.3, right? 26.3% becomes 26.3 out of 100. Because, right? Because why? Right? Because we know that, whoops, sorry about that. We know that percent means out of 100. Right, so you want to write 26.3 out of 100, but out of actually means over, of course. So you got yourself a fraction line, so you have a numerator of 26.3 and a denominator of 100. But fractions have to be reduced, and the top and bottom have to be whole numbers. So that's why this is a hard problem, because you're going to have to multiply the top by 10 and the bottom by 10, and now you have 263 over 1,000. Want to see that again? You got to multiply the top by 10 because 26.3 is ugly, and you multiply it by 10, it becomes a little less ugly. You get 263. But if you do it to the top, you have to be fair and do it to the bottom. And now you got 263 over 100, and now you have to do your work to see if that fraction can be reduced. Let's do another hard one. 29.12%, changing it to a fraction, becomes 29.12 out of, you don't have to do that, do I? Out of 100, it just means over 100, right? 29.12 over 100. But do we like fractions that have a decimal on the top or bottom? No. Can we multiply this number by 10 and make it a whole number? No, it doesn't work. What do we have to multiply it by in order to make it be a whole number? You know the answer. You have to multiply the top by 100. 29.12 is 100. Times 100 is 2,912. If you do it to the top, you got to do it to the bottom. When you do it to the bottom, you get 10,000. And now you got an obnoxious looking problem. Right? Now you got 2912 over 10,000. Do we like that? No. It's right, it's correct, but it's not reduced. So now you got to go to the work of figuring out what goes into the top and what goes in the bottom and reducing that fraction. That's why we call it a hard problem, because there's more work, because I know that 2 goes into the top and bottom, so I'm going to divide 2 into the top, I'm going to divide 2 into the bottom, and my work begins. All right, that's enough for today. Hope you're understanding how to convert a percent to a fraction. Have a good day. Got it?